Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm coming to you right from the office of the Grand Master of Free and Accepted Masons in the state of New York, right here in New York City. And I'm coming to you here in support of past Grand Master Javier Lopez as Executive Secretary for CMI. So you're probably saying, well, how did I ever get to meet Grand Master Lopez? Because of the fact that I was a Grand Master and all of that stuff? Well, a little bit, but let me give you something else that's going on here. You know, when I look at leaders, I look at those who can do as good as I'm doing, if not better. Grandmaster Javier Lopez is one of those individuals. But here we are a year ago when Zone 1 had a meeting here in New York. Now, I've been at Zone meetings before. As Grandmaster, I get invited to a lot of things. And the Zone meetings are well attended, 30, 40, 50 people on the final day. Here we had over 250 people. When the world heard that Grandmaster Javier Lopez was running this Zone 1 meeting here, over 250 people came. Not only did we have to take our entire Grand Lodge room and set it aside in order to have this meeting, he also orchestrated to be coordinated in connection with the parade that we have here, a major parade in New York City. So you're probably saying, well, wasn't that nice? He figured out a parade that we could all sit and watch. No, we didn't watch it, we marched in it. So here we are, up Fifth Avenue of New York City, over 250 strong of Masons with their Grand Lodge banners of their Grand Lodge jurisdictions, spread out for blocks. And the delegation was led by myself and Grandmaster Lopez. People are still talking about it, not only those who participated, but spectators as well. And also as a Grand Master, I get to meet a lot of individuals, and I look to see who I can glean some things from as far as learning new ways to promote Masonry, to put things in a better perspective, to move our programs forward and build our fraternity. And thanks to Grandmaster Lopez, I met a young man named Rudy Barbosa, and I saw how the two of them worked really, really well together. There was a cohesion between the two of them, and I said that was impressive. And now here, Grandmaster Lopez is running for the office of Executive Secretary. But you're saying, oh, great, that's terrific. You put together a meeting in New York City, over 250 people. Is that all you know? Well, no, that's not all I know. I got to meet him when I was in Paraguay, when I was the Grand Master of D. Malay. And when I was in Paraguay at a CMI meeting, Grandmaster Lopez says to me, you know, I think I'd like to start D. Malay in Baja, California. So I said, you know what, we can do that. Let's sit and talk about it, see how we can do it. We went through the meeting in Paraguay, went home. Before I could follow up with Grandmaster Lopez, he followed up with me. The next thing you know, I flew out to San Diego. He drove up from Mexico. We met in the D. Malay chapter there. We went to the D. Malay meeting. We loaded all the D. Malay paraphernalia in his vehicle. We drove to Mexico. Was there for about 2 or 3 days. The next thing you know, we had advisors trained, and 48 young men became D. Malays. And then when we were all done, he drove me all the way back up to San Diego, where we brought all the equipment back to the D. Malay chapter. So you say, no, that's fine and dandy, but 2 years later, when I was in Tijuana, some of those young men were there as Master Masons. And all of them were thankful for the fact that Grandmaster Lopez gave them the opportunity to knock on the door as a D. Malay boy. And then they became an adult, and then they became Master Masons in our fraternity. I don't need to tell you about the Grand Lodge of New York. You know all about it. You know the fact that we are an international point on the map where people come from all over the world to New York City. I don't need to tell you the diversity of the cultures of the various lodges that we have here, of the various languages that are spoken in our lodges so that they can perform work in their native tongue. You all know that already. But I think you also know that we have many Grand Lodges that would like to have recognition with us. Many of them are from Mexico. And Grandmaster Lopez has helped be a go-between to ensure that the proper paperwork, the proper vetting has taken place to make that happen. And as a result of that, we have increased our recognition with many Grand Lodges in Mexico thanks to the go-between that has been set up through Grandmaster Lopez. So you're probably saying, hey, that's pretty good there, Grandmaster Sardone. He forms a D. Malay chapter for the first time in Mexico. He forms a meeting of the largest meeting ever for Zone 1 in another country and has a parade where millions of individuals watch him. He maneuvers to meet other individuals to help the Grand Lodge of New York and other jurisdictions understand the Grand Lodges of Mexico. So what does that got to do with being executive secretary? That has everything to do with being executive secretary. You have to understand that being executive secretary, you have to be flexible, you have to be ready to adjust, and you have to be ready for anything that comes along. And it's my understanding that there's not a plethora of administration to help him. It's a one-man type show. And if that's the case, this is the individual that you want to be in there running it. Past Grandmaster Javier Lopez is not only a good friend of mine, not only a good friend to the Masons here in New York, he's also a good friend to people around the world as well. I know he has come to the aid of those on the other side of the world when they have had disasters and needed his help. He is the man that I support for Executive Secretary. I hope you will support him as well. Thank you for listening to me. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our great Masonic fraternity. And God bless all of those countries that allow Freemasonry to grow and flourish. Stay safe. We'll see each other soon. Thank you.